Hello. We must stop meeting like this. Um, the fisherman, it's not good, is it? It isn't good. I mean, we haven't got all the nuts and bolts of it yet, but when I did hear it this morning on the radio, with who's the presenter on Radio 4? What's his name? It'll come to me. Nick. It'll come to me. He sounds just like Alan Titchmarsh. I can't take him seriously. I'm like, is it Alan? Any minute is he going to talk to me about my alliums and my salvias? But when I heard it this morning and Jonathan Reynolds was on, and I was a bit like, this doesn't strike me as a good deal. And then as the days progressed, I really don't think it is a good deal. I mean, it sounds to me basically as though the EU can come and fish our waters as much as we like, but we're allowed to sell it back to them if there's any left for us to fish. And we've got to wait 12 years until we can redo the deal. No, it doesn't sound good to me at all. But let's see what happens. Let's see whether the ship sails and whether it's got legs. But right now, it just seems as though it's the farmers, it's the fishermen or women, it's the school kids, it's the pensioners, it's the care homes. I mean, it's every sector in society that Keir Starmer is going, right, well, I'll have that, and I'll have that. And he seems to genuinely think this is making sense. He seems to genuinely think that he hasn't screwed this up. And you know how incensed I got at the Susanna Reid interview where he showed his absolute box of frogs side. I mean, I almost thought at one point that he hadn't taken his medication and maybe things were going to kick off. He let the mask slip there. And he's just a bully. He's just a real arrogant bully. But what I think he's underestimated is it's really obvious what he thinks of the British public. He's not on our side. He couldn't be less on our side if he tried. And after a while, if you feel like someone's not on your side, you fight back, don't you? You go, nah, I'm digging my heels in as well. And you know, we're hurtling back to the 70s. I've always said I'd like to go back in time so that, you know, I could stretch it all out a bit. I'd definitely look after it a lot more if I knew then what I did now. But I feel like we're going back in time and we're going back to a world of strikes. I mean, there'll be power cuts before we know it. The summer of discontent. And there's such a groundswell of feeling of dissatisfaction with this government. And it's not just coming from sort of people like me, it's coming from people that actually voted for Labour. I've given the game away there. I didn't vote for Labour. I know, shock you. But you wouldn't, for the amount of people that tell me that I'm a Tory voter or a Reform voter, I mean, pick a lane, but you don't need to second guess it, but I will give you a clue. I didn't vote for Labour. But I do know people that did vote for Labour, and they will openly say they are ashamed of what they did and they regret it. And I wonder how long we can carry on with this facade and this masquerade and this, you know, everything's okay, everything's rosy. I cannot say that without thinking of the TV show. The kids used to watch it. Have I told you about my Mike the Night one as well? So Mike Tapp did an interview and he didn't like it and he flounced off. And I had a bit of arguing with the lady that interviewed him. And all I could think of was, if you remember Mike the Night. Mike the Night, he's a something hero. And I thought, Mike if you rhyme cat with a rude word, Mike he's a do. Haven't been able to get that out of my head all day. But everything's not rosy, and Mike Tapp is a and it just feels like we're heading, the groundswell is heading, and the fishermen might well be the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, state schools are imploding. Nobody cared when it was the independent sector, but now people are beginning to care that it's the state sector. They're having to cut classes that they're teaching, courses. They're sacking teachers. They're not renewing contracts. Class sizes are going up. There are less resources. Asbestos in schools not being fixed. The independent sector, 13,000 children coming into the state sector, even though Bridget Phillipson said they wouldn't, and that we all had broad shoulders and could absorb it. Wales is an absolute car crash educationally. Then we look at the pensioners, then we look at the farmers, then we look at buildings, then we look at migrants. I mean, there's just not one bit that's going well. And yet, if you were to look at Labour's social media, it would have you believe that everything was rosy. And I honestly think they've just got, the only thing that's rosy in Labour is their rose-tinted glasses, because the real world looks quite scary at the minute. I've never heard so many people saying, we're off, we're out, we're done. In my circles, I get lots of, we're just going to get the kids through. And, you know, the kids are coming towards end of A-levels and finishing GCSEs. There's a lot of we're just going to get the kids through and we're off. Lots of grandparents who are obviously devastated about that. And this is the effect, there's always a domino effect, but saying to their kids, I get it, I hear it. I think that's my cue to be quiet. Dogs, shush!